4 Recommended Processes for Self-Realization by Krishna's Mercy. Quote, for self-realization, the people in Satya-yuga, living a lifetime of 100,000 years, were able to perform prolonged meditation. And in Treta-yuga, when the duration of life was 10,000 years, self-realization was attained by performance of great sacrifice. And in the Dvapara-yuga, when the duration of life was 1,000 years, self-realization was attained by worship of the Lord. But in the Kali-yuga, the maximum duration of life being 100 years only, and that combined with various difficulties, the recommended process of self-realization is that of hearing and chanting of the holy name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord. Shrila Prabhupada, Shrimad Bhagavatam 112 Purport 2. 1. Dhyana. Dhyana is meditation in a formal and explicit way. The stipulation here is that it should last an extended period of time. It is nothing like what we are typically accustomed to. If someone recommends that we meditate, we might dedicate a few minutes to it each morning. As part of the routine shown by the modern-day fitness guru, we sit down in a quiet room after maybe doing a cold plunge and drinking some water with zinc tablets dissolved inside. This kind of meditation is certainly beneficial. After all, there is that saying from the philosopher Blaise Pascal about the difficulties of man stemming from his inability to sit in a quiet room, alone. We seem to always need something for stimulation, and there are entrepreneurs ready and willing to oblige. The distraction used to be scanning the channels on the television, then perhaps throwing on some videos from that internet video site. But today we can simply scroll on the smartphone, endlessly at that, as if there is no end to the content available to consume. It all appears to be devoid of meaning, since we end up constantly moving on. Hence the scrolling. Dhyana is one of the limbs of meditational yoga, and genuine yoga is for linking with the Supreme. Dhyana has been successful for people in the past who were able to stay in concentration for years and years. They could survive on air. They would be upset if anyone were to interrupt to break their concentration. 2. Yajna. This is sacrifice. The word is synonymous with Vishnu, which is one way to describe the Almighty. Vishnu indicates that God is a person. He is a distinct individual. He is certainly also the collective, in the way that a fire extends its potency, its heat and light, through the mechanism of distribution. Ekadesh sthitasyagner, jyotsna vistarini yatha, parasya brahmanah shaktis, tathidam, akhilam jagat. Quote, everything that is manifested within this cosmic world is but the energy of the Supreme Lord. As fire emanating from one place diffuses its illumination and heat all around, so the Lord, although situated in one place in the spiritual world, manifests his different energies everywhere. Indeed, the whole cosmic creation is composed of different manifestations of his energy. Vishnu Puran 122:52. We can reach perfection, Siddhi, through yajna, reciting the proper mantras, maintaining a steady fire, making offerings at the appropriate time, and also blessing the participants. They can eat the remnants of the sacrifice, known as yajna shishta, and be blessed. Yajna shishtashinah santo, mucyante sarvakilbishay, bhunjate tetva agham papa, ye pachantya atmakaranat. Quote, the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others, who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 3:13. 3. Arcana. This is worshipping the deity, showing mercy to the fallen souls who are limited in their thinking capacity, the one who is the grandest of them all, whose transcendental body includes the entire universe and more. Vishnu agrees to appear in a form that is easier to understand. This form can also accept direct worship. If comparing between what can directly be seen, with distinguishing features, and what cannot be seen, Allah, the deity, is known as the Saguna form. Hum lucky lucky hamar lucky hum hamar ke beech. Tulsi alakhi ka lucky Ram naam jap neech. Quote, O mystic, first know yourself, then realize the supreme absolute truth, and then see the material nature standing in between. O wretch, without seeing these, how can you understand what the unmanifested, invisible feature of the absolute truth, Allah, actually is? Chant Sri Rama's holy name instead, says Tulsi. Dohavli 19. If a person merely shows steadiness in this path, in dedication to returning to the process day after day, they reach the heights of living. They do not require anything else, in fact. Others may insult their level of attention as indicating a lack of intelligence. You see, the deity worshippers are not wise enough to realize that Vishnu also resides outside of the temple, that his distribution is everywhere. In spite of what outside opinion offers, arcana done properly and diligently can fulfill the meaning of life. 4. Harinama. This is the chanting of the holy names, either quietly to oneself, in what is known as japa, or out loud in what is known as kirtanam. To describe the glories of Vishnu is also kirtanam. The method popularized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Sankirtana, which is congregational chanting in the call and response format. This is a blissful way of staying in transcendence through enjoying the sacred sounds of the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These are the different ways to proceed in self-realization, as passed down in the Vedanta tradition. The true understanding of Vedanta incorporates both Advaita and Dvaita. By worshipping directly, a person is able to automatically understand the impersonal feature. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Maya Veshya Manoye Man Nitya Yukta Upaste, Shraddhaya Pariyopitaste Me Yukta Tamamata. Quote, the Blessed Lord said, He whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, is considered by me to be most perfect. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 12.2. These 4 processes can be implemented in any period of time, but based on the general conditions of society, Harinama is the preferred method in the modern day. Dhyana was ideal in the first age, Satya, Yagya in the second age, and Archana in Dvapara-yuga, but for the dark time of Kali, Harinama is ideal. It can be implemented in any place, with or without the approval of an institution of influence. In closing, weapons chase my head, in institution of dread, supposedly as spiritual known, but criminals at the top alone. Blessed Chaitanya heroically instating, through a simple mantra stating, that to reach perfection and shine, Harinama made for this time,